Okay, this is installment number 3, again, of whatever this is going to become. Um, Glad to be here for the third day. You know, it's easy for me to make a plan to do something, but obviously it's pretty difficult to actually follow through. Um, but today was another good day. I got to run this morning. I got to get in the Word. I got to go to school and carry out my first 2 lectures. Obviously, it's the first day of classes, and so the lectures aren't anything too special. They're more syllabus-oriented, introductory lectures, but it was awesome. Especially because when I was in high school, and this is a while ago now, I my biggest fear was public speaking. It was something that I avoided like the plague. Um, and for whatever reason in college, I had a public speaking class and came to the realization that sometimes what you're speaking about is more important than the fear that you have to speak about it. And obviously it has to do some with just normal courage. Having the courage to do something is not the lack of fear, but the willingness to just, saddle up and ride. I think that was some sort of John Wayne quote, probably butchering that. But, that really helped with my public speaking. Um, Not that it made me some great orator, but it helped me kind of get over the fear, or at least learn how to confront it. But yeah, so I did that today. Was diligent again, not to succumb to social media. Uh, and if I was a little bit more vague yesterday, maybe I could clear some things up about what it is that social media kind of does to our brain. I mentioned that when we're filling our mind with all these exciting um, activities that are not work, we're reminding our brain that our work is boring, right? We're making our work feel more boring than it already is, and it's making it harder for us to pay attention. But another thing that I've noticed for my own brain, especially because I deal with brain fog once I become kind of anxious, it becomes real bad. Like I can't think of like the vocabulary words that I want or whatever it is, people's names. Can't remember things, at least I feel like, right? But one thing that being heavily on social media, scrolling through Instagram Reels or whatever does to me is it fills my brain with almost like nonsensical information that I don't really need. And it makes it harder for the information that I do need to stay. Um, and you might notice this when you get like certain songs caught in your head, or you look up a celebrity on Google. I do this all the time, or at least I'm trying not to as much, but looking up a celebrity, seeing what they're getting into, who are they married to, what are their children, all this random stuff. You might watch a movie and just be interested in that stuff. But either way, as an example, that information will just stick in my brain. But one thing I've tried to do recently is when those urges to go look up something, hit my brain, I take a second to think, do I need that? Do I need that information? And oftentimes the answer is no. It doesn't mean you should never do that, or you should cut that out. But obviously there's it's a spectrum, right? When you do that too much, it's going to infiltrate the space you have in your mind to think about things that are more important. And when you don't do it, you free up a little bit of that space, right? In the same way that doing things that are intentionally boring is going to help your mind be able to endure things that are also inherently boring, like work at times, right? Or doing hard things like going to the gym, something that's almost a cliche at this point, is going to help your brain do other hard things, rewiring you to be able to do stuff that you don't want to do, getting yourself used to that. And so today I was able to walk in that a little bit more, which is cool. Another thing that happens, I believe, and I've noticed in my own life, when we do impute some boredom, is that we find ourselves thinking more, allowing the thoughts we think to be guided by our own imagination instead of the imagination of others. When we're consuming content, we're essentially giving ourselves thoughts. We're feeding ourselves thoughts. Obviously, we might laugh at something or whatever, but it's not an original thought to us. It's something that's been created by somebody else. And so when I am in a place where I'm not feeding myself as much social media or content, if you will, I find myself being more original to myself, having thoughts about things, thoughts about the future, visions for things that, not like a vision, like, oh, I saw a vision from on high, but, thinking about things that could happen if I applied myself in a certain way. So, yeah, it was a good day for that, but more a good day in the sense that I was able to make this video again. And as I mentioned, I hope that these will encourage somebody, but at the end of the day, I think this is a good way to hold myself accountable to the things that I'd like to accomplish in life, and setting aside some things that are preventing that. So I hope you had a good day. I don't know how many people are going to watch this, but yeah, so take it easy.